You ever have one of those days where you wake up thinking life's about as simple as it's ever gonna get, only to have the universe step in and say, "Not so fast, partner"? Yeah, that was me 5 years back, right after I hung up my boots from a life in civil surveying. Thought I'd earned myself some peace, you know? Found this quiet brick place, one story, tucked up into the hills right outside El Paso. You could spit and hit New Mexico if you tried. Backyard ran up against a rocky old hillside that looked so wild, so useless you'd figure not even the coyotes bothered. It was cheap hell. I thought maybe someday I'd landscape it, but mostly I let it be. Didn't even care where my lot ended, just figured the old concrete fence out back was the boundary. End of story. That lasted till spring rolled around, and I hired a solar guy to throw some panels on the roof. He's up there, squinting at coordinates on his tablet, and next thing I know, he looks down at me and says, "Did you know your lot runs 60 feet past your rear fence?" Now, you ever have someone tell you your whole sense of the world's about 2 houses short of a full deck? I stared up at him, thinking maybe he'd cooked his brains in the sun. But he points me to the county GIS map. That night I look at UPand, I'll be damned. There's my property, clear as day, stretching way past that busted old fence, deep into what I thought was wild brush and rock nobody wanted. I dig out the deed, double-check the coordinates, get a surveyor on the horn next morning just to be sure. Guy comes out, boots in the dirt, rods and total stations, all the stuff I used to do for a living. Maps it to the inch. Sure enough, that whole sloping mess out back is mine. So what's a man to do? I filed the new documents with the county, legal as sunrise, and for the first time since I moved in, I started dreaming a little bigger. I ripped out that old fence, went at the brush like it owed me money, treated it like a project, something to resurrect instead of just fix. Applied for every permit. Yeah, I went by the book, you can bet on it. I wasn't about to screw this up on a technicality. And it worked. Over a few months, that wild slope turned into something out of a magazine. Gravel walks, garden beds, a cedar pergola with lights strung up like lightning bugs, a bar, a grill, a paved fire pit, and the crown Juilon above-ground pool framed in wood, tucked in with desert flowers. Friends started showing up, dinners and BBQs and poker nights under the stars. Everyone snapping pictures and saying, "Lane, this is a showplace, man." And I was proud not just because it looked good, but because I did it right, no shortcuts, nothing shady. Now, if you've ever lived near an HOA but not in one, you know there's always at least one person who stares at your house like you're trespassing just by breathing their air. One night I'm having friends over, ribs on the smoker, Sinatra on the speakers, and I spot Hera woman, arms folded tight, hair like she shellacked it on, just standing at the top of the hill watching us like she's sizing up an invasion. Didn't wave, didn't smile, just vanished back up the slope to her place. 3 doors up. I knew right then HOA royalty, you can smell it. She figured anything she could see belonged to her. But my land? Never part of Sunrest Villas, not by a long shot. The official boundary stopped 2 streets over, and my deeds were clear as day. Didn't matter. After that, it was like the air shifted. That night, last peaceful one I had for months. It started at dawn, a sound I hadn't heard since the army, low and mechanical, making your teeth buzz before your brain wakes up. I'm on my feet, out the door barefoot, and there's a goddamn bulldozer in my backyard, blade halfway through the pergola I'd built myself. Guys in vests, no introductions, just tearing it all down. One's got an HOA logo on his chest, holding a clipboard like he owns the place. I shout, "You're trespassing. This is private property." He doesn't blink, says, "We got orders from Sunrest Villas HOA. These are illegal structures on community hillside." I tell him, "I'm not even in your damn HOA." Doesn't care. "Call your board," he says and keeps going. And there she is again, Karen. I learned her name soon enough, standing behind the bulldozer, arms crossed, lips pursed so tight you'd think she was trying to set a world record. "You can't just annex our hill for your pool," she snaps, waving a folder in my face, swearing she's got documentation that says it's an environmentally restricted slope. Looks official, all stamps and highlights. But it's just a smokescreen. Meanwhile, they're ripping up my grill, smashing my pool, yanking out garden beds. I run inside, call the cops. By the time 2 officers roll up, my place looks like the set of a disaster movie. Karen's out front playing tour guide, telling the cops it's just an HOA enforcement matter that I built illegally. I shove my permits into the younger one's hand. I own this parcel. I say, county records, surveys, all legit. The other cop just shakes his head, says, this is above our pay grade, sir. You'll need to take it to court. Karen smiles like she's just scored a touchdown. The cops file a report, then they're gone and the crew packs up, leaving my place a wreck. And before she leaves, Karen puts a plastic stake in the dirt-bright red tag, HOA boundary, do not remove. Next to it, a sign, community open space managed by Sunrest Villas. Like my whole life could be wiped away by cheap plastic and laminated printouts. That night, I sat on the porch, hands shaking, coffee gone cold, staring at the ruins. Called Jenna Wheeler, a property rights attorney I knew from way back. Told her, someone just bulldozed my yard and called it community service. She was at my place in 2 hours, high heels stabbing the gravel. She wanted paperwork and I gave her everything, permits, surveys, the whole nine. She said, let's bury 'em in real maps. Ordered a new survey, full topographical, GPS drones, everything. While we waited, I started digging through county records, looking for any document that tied my parcel to the HOA. Nothing. But on their website, I found a PDF internal use only dated 4 weeks before the bulldozer, redrawing the open space border to run right through my backyard. No county stamp, no GIS, just a bright line and a hope nobody would notice. Jenna was pissed, said, this is fraud, Lane. The new survey came in, matched the old one. County records were on my side. We filed everything with the assessor, pressed charges, trespass, vandalism, fraud, the works. Jenna filed for a restraining order against Karen and the HOA contractors, which got served next day. And then the weirdest thing happened. One of the contractors showed up at my door, tattoo on his neck. Nervous as a cat. Didn't know it was your land, man. They said it was community. Paid us cash. No permits, nothing. He tells me Karen paid extra for photos during construction. Said it was for insurance. She'd been watching, plotting the whole damn time. A day later, HOA flyers hit every mailbox in the neighborhood. Full color, aerial photos, me pool and pergola circled in red, labeled illegal construction. Title at the top, say no to backyard land grabs. Protect our hillside. Nobody named me, but everyone knew. A neighbor, school teacher I'd only nodded to before, came over to say, not all of us are with her. Some of us. We've been dealing with Karen for years. Just never thought she'd go this far. Neither did I. Now, here's where it gets wild. I figured facts were my best weapon. But when folks start drawing fake lines, you gotta fight fire with fireworks. So I did something a little dramatic. Erected 4 flagpoles on the true property line, Texas, U.S., Gadsden, and 1 big banner, private property, not part of Sunrest Villas. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Yes, this means you, Karen. Floodlit it all night. Threw up cameras, flew a drone shot aerial footage, overlaid it with parcel data, before and after of the destruction, set it to blues music, uploaded it to Reddit under the headline, my backyard got bulldozed by an HOA I don't belong to. Went viral. Lawyers, surveyors, even a county clerk from Montana chimed in. TikTok grabbed it and suddenly people knew my story. And the best part, neighbors started talking. Not just whispering, but out loud. Turns out I was just Karen's boldest victim. Derek up the street told me she tried to get his kid's trampoline removed. Another lady said her garage door was too reflective. Jenna dug deeper, found leaked emails. Karen had pressured the HOA board to redraw boundaries. Never told the homeowners. And then the sign. New, metallic, bolted into the ground. Hillside Environmental Zone. Caution required. Looked official as a government warning, but I knew better. So, I flipped my custom flag to the other side. Karen, I dare you to call the cops again. Mounted another camera with audio. Sure enough, she rolls up on her golf cart, glares at the flags and the camera, says nothing, just stews. Then came the court date. The courthouse was packed, lawyers, neighbors, reporters, even a couple cameras tucked in bags. I wore jeans, Jenna wore her navy war suit. Karen looked like she was headed for a white-collar crime trial. Her consultant wasn't even licensed in Texas. Jenna whispered. Bar numbers expired. The judge, a stone-faced old guy, cut straight to the point. This is not about confusion, it's about deception. Mr. Hardy owns that parcel, as shown by 2 surveys and county records. The defendants entered without jurisdiction or cause and destroyed over $80,000 in property. We dropped drone footage, GPS logs, witness testimony including the contractor with the tattoo who told the truth under oath. Jenna read out the HOA emails, including Karen's. If we don't act now, he'll cement his claim and we'll lose leverage. Judge wasn't amused. Karen rambled about community standards and erosion risk. Jenna cut her off. He's not in your HOA. The judge leaned in. You consider that slope shared. Is it, legally? Dead silence. Judge declared. You destroyed private property and tried to justify it after the fact. Court finds in favor of Mr. Hardy. Just like that, done. HOA ordered to pay damages over $1.5 million. Criminal charges for fraud and trespassing referred to the DA. Karen's lawyer looked ready to quit law forever. Reporters swarmed. Karen tried to sneak out. A side door camera caught her yelling. This was for the good of the community. Viral within hours. And you'd think she'd vanish quietly. Nope. 3 days later, she files an appeal. Says she acted out of community stewardship. County responds. Maps are non-binding. Claims are fabricated. The appeal is shot down in under 15 minutes. Judge says, HOA has no authority outside its legal jurisdiction. Any attempt to do so violates Texas property rights. My case becomes a precedent. Law schools start teaching it. Journalists call it the day fences fell. Karen's house sits dark. Her lawn dies. The HOA board unravels. Members quit. A petition circulates for her resignation. Sunrest Villas, formerly controlled by a megalomaniac, goes up on their website, and 70% of residents file to dissolve the HOA altogether. I get a check for damages, but the real payoff is watching Karen's name become a warning in legal circles. Took me 2 months to rebuild. Made everything stronger. Double foundations, 10-foot walls, a bronze plaque inside, private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted. And outside, facing Karen's old place, a mural bulldozer crashing into a cactus. Subtle but unmistakable. Through a reopening party, mariachi band, neighbors laughing, cookies shaped like bulldozers, t-shirts reading Know Your Line. Started a blog, answered questions for homeowners everywhere. How to fight HOA overreach, how to read your deed, when to push back. Karen moved out before sunrise, left behind an empty house, a dead HOA, and a little piece of case law with my name on it. Some nights I sit out there, drink in hand, watch the lights flicker across my rebuilt yard, and when the wind's just right, I swear I can hear that bulldozer grinding away. And I smile, because that sound, that's the moment they lost. So what do you think? Was I right to fight back, or did I go too far? Where's the line between defending what's yours and fueling the fire? Drop a comment. Tell me if you've ever stared down an HOA or stood your ground when someone tried to redraw the lines on your life. This is America. Sometimes you gotta stake your claim, even if you have to do it with a flagpole and a mural.